Hello, hello, and thank you for clicking on the video. Alright, well, as the title kind of suggests, I'm going to go over my Atlas builds for 2026 with all the changes we got from the recent update. The build has changed that I've been testing and playing with a little bit, so going to show that off for anyone trying to build Atlas, look into Atlas, anything like that. So let's just kind of jump into these builds and get this out of the way. Going to go over the shards really quick. Just running the Tau Forged Purple crit damage shards and then a little bit of casting speed. For anyone who can't get these, because I know these are in high demand, these are not needed. This is just for, funny numbers. So if you can't get them, not that big a deal. The build will still work perfectly fine. And the build itself, I have been messing around with Fractured Blast. I don't think that this is very widely used from Citrine, but this generates a lot of health and energy orbs, especially with our power strength value that we have. If you wanted to take out the overextended in here, this value would just go even higher. We just dump efficiency because we have equilibrium and prime flow, giving us great energy returns, and we don't care about duration because, well, for those of you who have not used Atlas, when he punches something with Landslide, it just kind of ceases to exist. And to also pair with the Fractured Blast with all of the health orbs, I'm also running Arcane Blessing. This just gives you more overall health, a little more survivability, just a little more room for error or whatnot. I just like it to be a little comfort pick. You can run Bolt Augmented if you wanted. You could run Arcane Grace if you wanted it. Maybe your energy economy isn't where you'd like it to be. This could be Energized, since I know everyone just kind of got that because of the most recent event. So this can be a lot of things. I just like it being Blessing. And I wanted this build to basically just kind of be a circuit build, something that you could take in, not need a companion for, and just like run the ones and be perfectly fine. And I also played a little bit with Gloom. Gloom does work very well with the Arcane Persistence, just giving you a bunch of healing, slowing enemies down. This build is really good. This isn't going to be the one that I'm showing off. I think we all know at this point how Gloom kind of works, so I just wanted to show off the Fractured Blast setup with this to show how this interaction works. You probably also noticed the Omamori. This is just me just kind of goofing around in everyday missions. Just doing like your normal exterminates, just going through here, just something I've been playing with. But these two are the, I think, like big ones to take note of. Of course, if you want to use them more, I'm not going to stop you. And then our companion is also important here, since we will be utilizing it. Again, Fracture Blast doesn't need that, so if you're going to the circuit, you'll be fine. But this will help you with a little bit of damage. This is the build for our Diriga. You do not need this mod in here because this works with channel abilities, and I have it in here for my other Warframes that have like other just channeling abilities or Gloom or whatever have you. So this is a little dead, but the what Diriga provides and what the weapon provides is really strong. So if we have a maybe not so great mod in here, it's not going to be the end of the world. I don't feel like making another mod config slot. If you want to and to optimize, that'd be fine. You can also add another forma in here to add primed animal instinct. I haven't gotten that far yet, been a little busy with other things, but just little optimizations that you can do. And for the weapon, as you're seeing on the right, we have a boatload of just statuses here for our Diriga to proc to get us a lot of extra damage. As you'll see when we get to the actual Landslide build, that is running Condition Overload, so all of the statuses will help us deal a lot of damage, and this is how I achieved that. And then we're just going to go over the weapons really quick. I think the Praetos kind of doesn't need any explanation, just a great universal stat stick. I don't think he really needs a melee weapon, seeing as how we have his fists and we would just punch things. The Codicossus with the update, this is utilizing Bulwark with his 4, and getting all that armor. Bulwark will be active pretty much all the time, so long as you are petrifying enemies and then killing them, which I'm going to encourage you to do, because it also adds a lot of survivability to the build, just freezing enemies, and then when you landslide, you are invincible. So yeah, the amount of just armor that you get from that gives you up to what Bulwark needs, even through like the heat procs and whatnot. Obviously, magnetic procs will disable the persistence per those changes, but those don't really happen all too often. I haven't really encountered any big issues, and violence isn't an issue because, well, we punch him one time and he's dead, and if he's not dead after the first punch, we just punch him again, and that usually does the trick. But this would be my Bulwark build, and here are the stats for all that. I have kind of enjoyed just using Blast here for all that. Let's see. I'm running the new core. New core, just standard, just kind of primer. You could run like a damaging setup with Innervate if you wanted to. Nothing wrong. You could do either or because we're on Naramon for our school, so you could do whatever you feel more comfortable with. I'm just choosing to run this as a primer just to kind of get a little bit more damage out, because I'm largely just going to be, well, punching dudes in the face. Like, that's kind of my MO whenever I'm Atlas. And the big one, which is the Landslide build. This is just going to proc gas for the largely what we do here in Warframe. There's just going to be a bunch of enemies for us to kind of just go through and maul over. So this will allow a gas proc to just like linger and then do damage to other nearby enemies, and this has worked pretty well for me. Another one that I've been messing with is just the old heat and viral. Again, this does a lot of damage, as you're going to see when I go through a little 5-minute run here. But this is really, this is really solid. You'll do millions of damage without a single problem. I do not do, what is it called? We all use it, and I'm having a brain fart. Influence. We all, I think, are used to influence, but this I don't really particularly care for on Atlas, because, as I mentioned, when he punches things, they just kind of die. So it's really hard to get electric procs off on enemies, unless if you're just using a Diriger or something with electricity on it, then that can work. But I don't. Yeah, it says on melee electric. So yeah, no, that one works. Scratch that idea. Dumb idea. But yeah, so I don't think he's a great influence bot. I just use him on exposure to get the corrosive going, to get more damage going, and yep, just overall good stuff on there. I'm going to go over here so Eleanor doesn't blow out anyone's eardrums. And we're just going to do a little survival to just kind of show this off, how this goes, what to expect, things like that. I'm only going to be here for about 5
Your
minutes,
enemies have grown
so
fierce. Use all that you have learned.
I'm not going to make this be anything like crazy. I'm not going to be here for like 3 hours or anything. So there's that.
Capsules your way.
Oh no, I'm getting hurt. Oh no. So the 3, the 2, the 1. Hey, look at that. I'm back to, full health basically. Petrify everything. 3, 2, 1. And look, my health is going down, but because of Fractured Blast, we're getting a lot of health orbs, so it kind of doesn't matter. And then I can just come over here and just punch things to death. Proc this, freeze them, And there we go. That was a little 5 million. That's fine. You know, not doing too shabby for ourselves. That's proccing them. And 25 million. Not even into red crits just yet. Where are the... This is... See, and this is why I really like having Animal Instinct on, because you get to kind of see where all of the enemies are. There's that. And this is just kind of the build. I'll do some of that. That was a 48 million. Atlas is really strong. I get that, like, the playstyle may not be for everyone, and that's fine. But with the most recent changes that they've done to, like, pseudo-exalteds and everything, I have been very much enjoying Atlas. Like, honestly, even more than Baruch, and Baruch was a, like, titan before those changes. But I just see myself gravitating more towards Atlas, like we see here, more towards Valkyr, especially with her rework, which was absolutely incredible. I haven't had that much from a Valkyr since she first came out. Yep, this is... You can see why I'm not going to do this for, you know, like, an extended period of time, because it's just going to be a bunch of this. Like, the gameplay doesn't really change, it's just good survivability, good damage, good range. Thanks to persistence, where we can't really go past taking 500 damage at a time. And then with Fractured Blast, like you see me just kind of launching off here, we get so many health and energy orbs, we just heal. Like, this Subsume is doing a lot for us. Ooh, little 30 million. And I did show off the Bulwark build a little bit on the base assist, so let's just kind of do this to show off the damage here that, you know, this does do the damage I'm saying that it did do in the builds. Now, the main idea is to just, you know, punch things, but for the things that, you know, for whatever reason or another, cannot be punched, this will definitely do some punching. Okay. Clean these guys up a little bit. And there is an acolyte. Who is it? Who is it? Who am I going to punch in the face? Malice. I was hoping for violence I could just punch him and show that off. See? One punch. The acolytes can't really take this kind of just brute force. Actually, there's not a lot of things in this game that can take that amount of brute force. And again, Duriga is nice for this, but as what I mentioned earlier, if you want to do this in the circuits, Fractured Blast just covers all of your bases, so it is not really superly needed. It does help, of course. I mean, and then we've already maxed out Blessing, so we have almost 2,700 health, just to make things all nice and comfy for ourselves. And again, you do 51 million. And again, you do not have to like do my build like verbatim. This is not something that you have to follow to a T like it's the gospel or anything. If you want to play around with like other mods or take something out or, you know, rearrange a few things, that is completely fine. The build is still... I am stuck. Atlas is an incredible Warframe. He is very strong. And so long as you give him basically the power strength he needs, some decent range and everything, I think that, Atlas will serve, I think, anyone fairly well. Alright, well, that's the video. Thanks again for clicking on it, and I'll catch you guys later.